Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 11. For Module 11, you are getting additional feedback on your argument essay rough draft. You'll be getting feedback from peers as well as the online writing lab. Both of these assignments are a little bit more complicated and they do have specific instructions and a specific deadline in the middle of the week. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention and getting stuff done earlier in the module so that you can actually finish it and get your points and full credit for it. So I'm going to go over how to do these. They are a little bit more complicated. Just so you know, you may need to watch this video more than once. I've got some peer editing resources here. Peer editing is something that most students have had to do before, but it does sometimes present some challenges. The main one that students find, especially in Comp 1, is that they are uncomfortable with leaving feedback for their peers. And so these resources here will kind of help you see what are some things that you can comment on that you'll be a little bit more comfortable doing. And I do want to emphasize that as you're doing the peer edit, you do not need to know the answer. So if you see a sentence that just doesn't read correctly, that's all you need to tell the student. You don't need to fix it for them. But if you think they might be missing a comma, you could put maybe missing a comma or something like that, just to help them out. You're not necessarily hunting for things that are wrong. You're giving them suggestions. So what you're going to do for this assignment to complete the peer edit, there are two steps. The first one is to actually submit your essay. If you don't submit your essay, you're not going to get any peer feedback because nobody will be able to see your essay. So you're going to submit your essay first. So you can see over here that I have submitted my essay. Once Wednesday, April 8th at 11:59 p.m. happens, then there will be two peer reviews that will be assigned right here. I'll see two people's names and there'll be links that I can click on. So I'm going to click on one of their names, and this is the page that's going to pull up. It's going to look just like this, and you're going to not click on this, okay? Don't click on their file because all that does is open their file, and if you leave feedback there, then nobody can see it because it's just in the file. Instead, you're going to click on View Feedback. When you click on View Feedback, that means that you will be able to see your comments that you leave them. They will be able to see the comments that you leave them, and I will be able to see the comments that you leave them. You also will be able to see comments that any other peer editor assigned to that essay can view as well. So just keep in mind that you may get in here and see that somebody else has already left some feedback. That's because every essay gets two peer editors. So you want to make sure that you're commenting on things that are a bit different from what's already been commented on. So this is the DocuViewer. The easiest way to view the paper is just to expand it to full screen. Then you can zoom in if you need to, and then leave comments with the tools up here. The best one is probably this one right here because it leaves a little bubble and it will tell us who wrote that comment. So if you're going for a certain number of comments to make sure that you get full credit, you want to make sure that your name is appearing over here, 10 times so that you get all your credit. Plus the bubble is really nice to be able to leave that feedback in a specific spot. Highlighting is also pretty popular because you can highlight a section and say, you need to reword this or something like that. And that allows you to, like I said earlier, comment on things where you don't necessarily have the answer to what it's supposed to look like, but you do notice that that sentence doesn't read correctly. You could strike through, you can draw pictures as well. So that's cool. But the main thing that you want to try to avoid is just leaving text. And the main reason is because it doesn't leave your name. So we don't know who wrote that. And so it really doesn't really help anyone, especially you, when you have to have a certain number of comments. So we've got that done. You got all your comments on there. The next thing you're going to do is go up here to Show Rubric. And then that's going to bring up the rubric. It will look something like this. It looks slightly different for you when you actually do the peer edit. But here you'll be able to click on either needs improvement or no issues for each of the categories here. And I kind of describe what it's supposed to look like if there are no issues. On the side will be a comment button. So if it needs improvement, you want to make sure that you leave a comment as to how it could be improved. And then at the bottom will be a submit button that you'll want to click. Once you've submitted it, you will not be able to edit it. So if you accidentally submit the rubric and you have not finished it, you'll need to leave feedback here in the comments. The comments on the paper itself, those save automatically. You don't need to do anything. It's just the ones in the rubric that you have to save specifically. So you'll do that for 2 peer essays, and you'll be able to, then they'll be able to see them right away. You'll view your own comments. You view your own draft by clicking on that submission details, and then it'll be your file and view feedback. That's how you view feedback from me on any of your assignments, and then that's how you'll view your peer feedback. So there's a like a page here that just guide how to do it. Will help you out as well, and then just make sure that you are following all of the directions. It's a little bit complicated, and you have to wait until partway through the week to actually do it, because you won't be assigned those peer edits until the due date has passed. So if you have questions as you're trying to do it, make sure that you send me an email immediately so I can help you out. The other assignment that you'll be doing is actually submitting to the online writing lab. I've shown you how to do this before, and so just keep in mind that you're doing that for your argument essay, and then what you're submitting here is the feedback that they send back to you. So I've given you the same due date because I will give them 2 dates within that 48-hour period before the weekend. Make sure that you do submit. Earlier is better, but submit by Wednesday, April 8th. And then when you go in, so you can do it 2 ways. I think I have set up a task for you that will be emailed to you in your Allen email. But then the other way to go in is to click on that Brain Fuse link. It'll bring up this page. You go to submit paper and then tell them you're doing an argumentative essay. And then you want to select the style. We're doing MLA 9th edition, maybe. And then what sort of issues you're having with it, and then include the assignment and directions, which you can copy and paste out of Canvas, and then browse and upload your file, and give them any comments if you need to. The results will come back in your message center, so it'll come back here, and it will be an attachment to a file. You'll go in, you'll download that file, you go in here, start assignment, and upload that file. Once you're done with all of that, so you've got the Brain Fuse comments, you've got your peer comments, this will all be by the end of the module. You'll have all of this feedback, hopefully. Then next week is when you're going to start making changes to your essay. You'll have instructor feedback, you'll have self-editing feedback, you'll have peer feedback, and you will have online writing lab feedback. So you've got a whole bunch of stuff to look at so that you can start turning that rough draft into a really good final draft. So there's a lot of stuff to look at there. So as soon as you start getting that feedback in, go ahead and look it over, make sure you don't have questions, and get prepared to work on and turn that rough draft into a final draft. So if you have questions as you are going through these assignments, please send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.